What's going on, guys? Matt Becker here. So you may be thinking, here we go, this is just another FG knot video, but I promise you we got some cool little tips and tricks in this video that maybe can make it easier for you to connect your braid to fluorocarbon leader. You know, that's something that's super important whenever you're throwing a spinning rod and spinning rod techniques, and it's even transferring over a lot to casting equipment here lately, is using braided line to a fluorocarbon leader. And it's no secret the FG knot is definitely the best way to connect those two lines. It goes through the guides really well. It lasts forever when you tie it right. But there's just a couple key things that you can do to really help you the ease of tying that knot. So we're going to kind of walk through the steps and go through. First thing that's super important to me is keeping my leader line nice and organized. You see, I got different sizes of lines. This is the Evolution Fishing Line Master leader bag right here. This awesome little bag. It keeps the line from spooling out with the Velcro strap here. So I can quickly and easily pick what size leader I want. It's all right there contained in the one bag. So it's super cool. I can utilize that, pick whatever size leader I want. I like to wrap my line around my passenger seat in my Phoenix right here. So I'm gonna wrap that braided line around there and I'm gonna use that as tension. Now I'm gonna set my reel right here against my rod locker so I can pull on this line right here and have tension and use that to kind of build the FG knot as we go. And now I'm gonna take this tag end of the braided line and I'm gonna bite it. And I'm gonna use that to have my tension so I can have my hands free and tie the FG knot with the tension using my teeth right there. All right, I'm gonna go with 10-pound leader for this demonstration. So I like to pull out a decent amount of leader. Obviously this is going to be used. So I start with about 6 inches there. I pinch it and I wrap it around my middle finger on my left hand so I can keep tension to pull it this way, to pull it left and to pull it right with the tag end. That's the key to an FG knot, is having tension really in 4 different directions. So, and now I'm going to take about 6 inches of line, lay it over top of the braid, just like that. I'm going to pinch it with my index and my thumb right there. And I'm going to go under the top of the braid and grab that fluorocarbon like that. And then I'm going to pull it tight to the right. Let my fingers go here so that knot can build. Okay. And then do the same thing towards me. So that's 2, 3, 4. And now you're just going to count those rotations and alternate the front, the back, the front, the back. And you're just going to keep doing that and keep counting your way up. And every time you make that rotation, I'm pulling tension to the right and I have tension pulling to the left with this hand right here. So you want to just keep going on there. And it really depends on the braided line, the size of the line you're using, on how many wraps you want to use. So this is very thin diameter Seaguar PEX8 braided line and 10-pound leader. So I'm going to go upwards of 30 wraps. I'm going to count the 30. I've lost count now, but we're just going to get close to 30. And you can see when I pull this, I let up with these fingers to allow that knot to build. Okay, I'm gonna say we're close to 30 there. Now I'm gonna pinch that. I'm gonna unwrap this finger here. And at this point, you can let go of the tension with your teeth. Okay, and you have that knot built right there. Now, this is where things get a little bit different, is I'm gonna take this braid that I had with my teeth, take that tag end of the braid and create an overhand knot over the tag end of the fluorocarbon and the main line of the braid here. So I'm gonna use, there's my old FG knot that I cut the leader off. It always helps tying this knot to have that. So I'm going to cinch that down on what will be the top of the knot now. And at this point, the knot's not going to unravel, so you can kind of let go all pressure. But I always like to tie another overhand knot over both of those lines just to be sure, like that. Okay, once you have those two, the next step for me is going to be cinching that knot down. So I'm going to wrap my fingers around my main braided line that goes to the rod and my main fluorocarbon that goes to the spool, and I'm going to pull that really tight as you want. and make sure there's no slippage or anything like that. So we did that, everything's cinched down. Now I'm gonna trim these tag ends, and I like to trim them very close as you can get to that knot. So I'm gonna take my scissors, run it right up next to that knot, trim those tag ends just like that. Okay, there's your knot. Now the last step, super important as well, is I like to take a little dab of super glue, and I'm gonna put it on those tag ends that I just cut off. So it's gonna be the top of your knot, the braided line side of that knot. And just put a little dab of super glue on there, and then I just take my fingers and just kind of rub it together, rub it in. And what that super glue does is cinches down that tag end and those overhand knots from unraveling and coming apart. And now that knot right there is cinched together. That knot will last you forever. Literally, it will last you longer than the leader line that you just tied onto. So you can use this leader until you have inches of line left. Just keep cutting it off all the way to that knot. That knot will never fail you. It's an excellent leader knot right there. So hopefully you can use one of these tips to simplify your FG knot tying. Now I'm just gonna pull out, say 8 or 10 feet of line, cut him off right there, and now we're ready to go fishing. There's a nice one.